So we're here in Kenya on an island called Rusinga Island, which is in Lake Victoria, and it took us a ferry ride over here from Kisumu, which is the nearest town. A few generations ago, Rusinga Island was a forest. It had many different herbs growing, food forests growing. It was just in abundance. And as the population grew and grew, people started harvesting the wood for fuel, for sale as charcoal. So this is a partnership that was formed with a group of farmers on Rusinga Island called Riofa, starting again from scratch, regenerating the earth so that we can build on a forest again.
If you look around or you are walking around the island, the place is so degraded. There is serious deforestation. The lake is so much polluted. And this has resulted to so much poverty. Rusinga Island Organic Farmers Association is a group of farmers who decided to come together to practice organic farming, but at the same time take care of the environment.
So we sent them on a permaculture design course. And, they came back to us and said we now aim to build demonstration sites so we can teach everyone on Rusinga Island the benefits of permaculture, which is very much traditional farming.
I'm not bad. Oh, I'm well.
When it comes to sustainable Lush Fund projects, we very much tap into the permaculture network that's already happening. We very much work in partnership with PRI Kenya as well.
Here Professor has dug a swale. The aim of the swale is to capture the runoff water. Then the sweet potato acts as a cover crop. It's kind of like a living mulch, so it will keep the moisture in the soil. Then the moringa, planted on the other side of the burn, will also help keep the soil in, but also fix nitrogen. It has multiple uses. The leaves are super nutritious, the seed pods will produce an oil. You can even use it to filter water with. And then intercropping with various crops will help keep pests away. Permaculture is a system that aims to work with nature. And so in that sense, as a design system, it encourages you to look at the way nature grows things and try and emulate those in your design system. All plants draw nutrients from different levels in the soil. Plants will also help each other. Some plants are there to have deep tap roots so they can draw up nutrients for those who have shallow roots. So they work really well together. When you have a monoculture system, you actually end up draining the soil of nutrients. You end up having a system that is more vulnerable to pests and diseases, which is why now people have then ended up using a lot of chemicals in those systems to get rid of those pests. And you end up with these evil cycles where you're not ever going to be able to have a system that is in balance because it is a monoculture.
This is Professor, and we are in his farm, and we're just trying to look at how he's taking care of his crops. One of the ways of doing that is using organic pesticide. It is made out of cactus, aloe vera, peppers, blackjack, and neem tree.
Yeah.
So when you want to know it is ready, you just dip your hand inside and then you feel some warmth, and then you go and spray. The reason why we're actually emphasizing on this is because the kind of farming practices along the lake, mostly it has been found out that it is interfering with the fish habitat in the lake because they're using chemical pesticides. And when it rains, through runoffs, all that is actually swept to the lake. But also because this is where we also draw our water, so the community drinks this water. So we are trying to sensitize them to make sure that they don't pollute water.
We got further support from Lush to do the first step in helping them to become model farmers, which was fencing systems and water systems.
It was essential for them to have a source of water to be able to provide for their crops. Most of the tanks are rainwater harvesting tanks. So the water collects from the guttering from the houses and then drops into the tank. But some of the tanks, because they're so closely located to the lake, have pumps down from the lake pumping the water up. So we're at Nancy's site, who's one of the Riofa members. When I first came here, I think it was about 6 months ago, the site was all just soil, degraded soil. So what we've done with SLush is provide the funding to fence all of this I think it's 1 acre piece of land. So the idea of that is that the animals don't come in and graze over what we want to be planting here. So what we've done is build a dead fence, and what we want to be doing is build a living fence inside the dead fence, so that eventually we could pick up this dead fence, move it somewhere else, so that we have a whole, say, 5 acres of living fence, so that the animals can't come in and graze.
I planted the 200 moringas. I had groundnut. I had a pumpkin there, banana, you can see, sweet potato, cassava, beans, and we found if we are using those ones, we save our life.
It was incredible to return here after 6 months and seeing the hard work that everyone had put in. I was walking behind Doreen and I saw her hands from behind, and they were working hands. And I looked around at the garden that she'd put all her hard work into, and it was incredible. She had so many things growing. It's incredible. It makes me really proud that Lush have decided to support them, and I hope that we can develop a long-term relationship with them. So today I had a chance to do a small workshop with Riofa, and we discussed the opportunity for them to start processing their own materials that they grow so that they can really add value to their ingredients. Riofa have already started growing moringas, so the idea is to begin with for them to use this for their own production of soap. So this is what you could do with it. Turn it into oil, and this is done by cold pressing. This is oil which can be sold in international markets. Lush buy this, but you can also use it to make your own soaps as well. So the idea with SLush Fund projects as well is that Lush initially gives seed money as an investment into a project, and the idea is that we reach financial succession. So we eventually want to be able to drop the SLush funding to a stage where a farming community can then use that funding to start generating their own income. So this is the aim that we want to be at, so that the funding from Lush pulls down and then income from Riofa builds up. And when we reach this point, I think we can all be very proud. Today was a celebration of the first harvest of the season, and we created this absolute feast with all these different natural produce that they put their work into. That's really an example of how Riofa are a family. They share everything.
So I'm not going to say much, but I thank our friend for what you people done to us. We had goat, cows, they were destroying our things, but now they are safe, which means we are now okay.
We have money, we don't beg for soap, for sugar, and also we have bought some of our clothes from what we have now, and that is so fantastic.
When you have something to eat, is when people respect you. But when you go to beg for food, people hate you. And I've seen a tremendous change in my lifestyle from the time I joined this organization, Riofa.
We visited a site which was donated to Riofa. So what we really want to do is to be able to build this as an educational hub.
So all around here, around your kitchen, around your education hall, etc., would be your kitchen garden, your herb gardens and so on for like the immediate use, your zone 1 in permaculture, and your processing centres. This bit stretching down to the lake is where we've thought of having now your zone 2, 3, etc. So you're stretching your food forest and then going down into the lake where we thought of some traditional fish farming.
So we've been to visit 10 of the 21 farms today and to meet the Riofa members and their families as well. So we've had a chance to really meet their families and talk about the benefits of installing the water tanks. It's been quite emotional actually. Also, what was really special about today is that we saw the vision for the future for Riofa. It's going to be an educational hub to start bringing other farmers into the network as well and improving their source of food security.